Hi there, this is Lenka. I am actually starting to write again just because the urge returned. The last few months I had absolutely no desire to write because I just purged so many songs, but it's starting to creep back in, and when I have time I do sit at the piano and write a bit. But I actually have a lot of songs that didn't make this first album that I really love, and I would hopefully give them a life on album number 2. But it probably won't be for a year or something. Maybe, yeah. It's hard though. I was thinking about that the other day because there's a song that I wrote like in 2003 or something called Captain Crustacean, and it's when my music was a little weirder and not as pop when I was in decodering, and it was a little more experimental sounding. The song is great, and my dad is always like, you should play that song, and some old friends are like, why aren't you playing that song, because I really loved it. But it's 5 minutes long, it's really weird, it doesn't have a chorus, it sort of has this weird chorus that doesn't work, so I'm trying to rewrite it and make it a bit better, but it's so hard to change something once it's sort of been set in stone, and I don't know, I'm having a hard time. So maybe. I think I've become a better writer, really, is what it's about, and so I would like to make that song better. I think that there's something to be said for music that's accessible and catchy, and you know, has a hook. It's not just so that it's commercial and you can get it played on the radio, it's so that the listener falls for it and lets the song in because they can sing along, and I just think there's a lot of merit to music like that. And I find that most of the artists that I like, whether or not they're commercial kinds, mostly they're not, mostly they're more underground people, they're great at writing hooks, and the melodies are very accessible and catchy and infectious. And so I want to go back and make that song, you know, now what I know about songwriting 5 years later, I would like to put on that song. So yeah, I think that that's a very common thing to have with the second album. You know, you've spent 7 years or something building up, or your whole life probably building up the material for album number 1, and then you have no life because you're out on the road and you don't actually have any life experiences other than playing music, and you're expected to come up with another 10 songs. So we'll see. At the moment I feel like I've got plenty to write about because, you know, I'm still filled with confusion and angst and emotions, yeah, so that's all still there. We'll see. And also, like, I really miss my boyfriend when I'm away from him, so I'll be able to write lots of longing songs. I'd like to write a musical, like a musical theatre. No, just kidding. I don't know. I would like to combine everything at some point, the acting and the visuals, and I don't know how exactly, but I really like collaborating with people, and I'd like to do whatever. I just like making arty stuff, like purging creative arts out into the world and decorating everything. So I would like to get into acting. I do have a little bit of an itch to play characters again, so we'll see. Maybe I'll do one of those like Britney Spears style videos where like you play heaps of different characters, wear lots of wigs. I don't know, we'll see. That is a good way to get my acting chops on, doing videos. I feel like I get to act a bit, but I'm playing myself. I'm like doing an exaggerated version of myself. So maybe, you know, I'd love to like play an evil bitch or something in a movie. Yeah, maybe I'll write an evil bitch song and then do the video.
Underneath the moon, underneath the stars, here's a little heart for you. Up above the world, up above it all, here's a hand to hold on to. But if I should break, if I should fall,